Good morning, students. In our last period, we have learned fractions. Now we will learn about a very good friend of fractions, that is decimals. Our next chapter, chapter number 6, decimals. What are decimals? Why we need to learn decimals and what we have learned so far? Let's first see that. We have learned so far about whole numbers, right? Whole numbers like ones, tens, you can see here hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, then millions, 10 millions, and so on, right? Now when you go here, if you see this table, and in particularly whole numbers or take any numbers, when we go from one place to another place towards the left hand side, we are actually multiplying by 10 times. See, 1 units, when we multiply it by 10, it becomes 10, that is tens. When we multiply 10 into 10, it becomes 100. When we multiply 100 into 10, it becomes 1000. 100 in 1000 into 10, 10,000. 10,000 into 10, 1 lakh or 100,000. Similarly, we come from left to right where we have to divide by 10. Okay, this 100,000 when we divide by 10 becomes 10,000. 10,000 when we divide by 10 becomes 1,000. Then we divided by 10 becomes 100. Then divided by 10 becomes tens. And then divided by 10 becomes 1 unit. Okay, so these are about whole numbers. But now we are going to see about decimals. Now we have used decimals everywhere, and without decimals the calculation would have been very difficult. Okay, now decimals we use to measure height, decimals we use to measure kilogram, gram, the weight. Okay, decimals we use to measure the capacity, decimal we use to measure the length, decimals we use to measure the rupees also. So like that, in actually our day-to-day life we are using decimals, and decimals have become an integral part of our life, right? Now what happens, in our previous slide we have seen the smallest unit is ones, that is 1. But now I want to go further towards right hand side. Okay, from that 100,000 when we come to ones, okay, we divided by 10 by 10 by 10 by 10. But now I have to go further to the right hand side. Now to go to further to the right hand side, we will first put the decimal point. Okay, the point which we put, that is called a decimal point. And then what happens, let's see here. Yes, then what happens, when we go towards a right hand side of this decimal point, it will be again dividing by 10. So it is 1 upon 10. Okay, now 1 upon 10, again we divide by 10. It is 1 upon 10 into 1 upon 10, that is 1 upon 100. So further when you go towards right hand side, dividing by 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, that's how we get tenths place, hundreds place, thousands place, and 10,000s place. Whereas towards the left hand side it is units, tens, hundreds, and thousands. Now this is the left hand side of the decimal point, that is called as integral part of decimal or whole number part of decimal. The left hand side where thousands, hundreds, tens and units are there, that is called integral part, left hand side of decimal point, whereas the right hand side of the decimal point is called decimal part. Okay, definition, let's see. A decimal fraction is a fraction whose denominator is 10, 100, 1000 or some or the other power of 10. Power of 10 means what? 10 into 10. 10 multiplied by 2 times becomes 100. If you multiply 10 3 times it becomes 1000. So 10 square is 100, 10 cube is 1000, that we will learn slowly. Okay, so here the decimal fraction always have the denominator in the power of 10. Now how to read the decimal? How to read? So always remember decimal point we will read as it is, but towards the left hand side, that is the integral part or whole number part of the decimals, we just read as it is 431, 342. But the right hand side always to be read digit wise. You have to read it digit wise. Left hand side read whole number wise, and right hand side of the decimal point, that is decimal part, you have to read it. Now let's read these decimals. First is 43.36. The way I told you that the decimal part we will read digit wise to the right hand side which is there, and the left hand side, that is integral part or whole number part, we will read the way we read the whole number. So this is 43.36. Second one, it is 759, which is a whole number part, 0.005. The third one is 5, which is a whole number part, 0.7801. Now, let's learn how to represent decimals on number line. Okay, we can represent the decimals on number line as rational numbers. Rational numbers we don't know, you don't know rather, but yes, let's see how to represent a decimal on a number line. Now see here children, to represent 1.6 on a number line, we will see over here. Now which is the whole number part over here? 1, that is the left hand side of decimal point, and right hand side 6 is the decimal part, that is nothing but 6 out of 10. That is nothing but 6 out of 10. So first of all, this decimal will lie between 1 and 2. Okay, 1 is a whole number part, and after 1 comes 2. So this decimal lies between 1 and 2. But for that, we have to divide the distance between 1 and 2 into 10 equal divisions. Okay, we will divide it. Why? Because 0.6 is nothing but 6 out of 10 divisions. So here we have to divide the distance between 1 and 2 into 10 equal parts. So the first becomes 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, fourth is 1.4, then it is 1.5, and then our required one is 1.6. Just to avoid the mistakes, students, I would appreciate if in the beginning you write all the decimals between. Okay, right. Now you can see this squeezed line. You must be wondering about this, why it is squeezed line. See, the distance between 1 and 2, I have enlarged it. Okay, to mention our decimal over there, 1.6. So for that, I have to squeeze the distance between 0.1, and that shows that we have squeezed that distance between 0.1, and we want that part to enlarge, that is between 1 to 2, to show our decimal over there on the number line. Similarly, I wish you try to draw 2.4 on the number